Hey, my name's Eddie, and in this video I'm going to be sharing my experience going from working in finance and tech to working in healthcare. So I graduated from UC Berkeley in 2020 with a bachelor's in environmental economics and a minor in data science. And then right after graduation, I started working for an investment management firm out of New York. But because it was COVID, I was working remotely for the first year. And after that first year, I had to then move out to New York so that I could work in person. But because I had already worked there for a year and I kind of got an idea of what the work was and whether or not I enjoyed it, I found that I just didn't. I wasn't passionate about it. I wasn't waking up every day, excited to work on what I was working on. So I decided that I was going to leave that job because it didn't make sense for me to move out to New York, across the country for a job that I wasn't, happy at. So I left that job after a year, and then I started working at a startup that was working on software. And that job allowed me to work remotely, so that was just better for me at the time. So again, after about a year of working at that startup, I realized that my passion for the work and the job just wasn't there anymore. So before I left that job, I started to think about what else I wanted to work on. And I explored a bunch of different things, from starting my own company to going back into finance to working at a different startup or working at a different tech company. And so while I was contemplating a bunch of different career paths, I thought that maybe finance and tech just isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And the reason for that was because I just realized that have never really been the type of person to be able to sit down for long periods of time. And so both jobs required me to sit down behind a desk on a computer for hours and hours on end. And so being a really active person, I feel like maybe that was the main problem. So I decided that maybe I have to explore other career paths. And being a very active person growing up and always going to the gym, working out, running, I decided that I wanted to pursue a career that was in some way related to health. And I remembered that even before I had started my undergrad, I wanted to pursue medicine, because I had torn my ACL when I was about 16, and I just had a really good relationship with my surgeon, and we would have conversations about what I wanted to do when I was in college and what I wanted to study. And I had told him I'm interested in medicine because I just feel like what you did for me, I want to do for others. And that was he pretty much put me back together. My knee was blown, my ligament was torn, and he helped me get back to doing what I loved, which was playing soccer. Obviously, once I got to college and once I started to pick my major, I didn't choose medicine because of multiple reasons, mainly because of the 15 to 20 year commitment that it takes to become a surgeon, maybe longer. It just intimidated me, being an 18-year-old kid who was trying to decide what he wanted to do with his life. So obviously I chose economics, but yeah, so realizing that I wanted to pursue a career in healthcare, I started to think about, what were the requirements to get into medical school or to apply to medical school, what other career paths within healthcare are there, and is there something else that might take less time but it will still bring me a fulfillment that will make me happy. So I did some research, and I found that nursing was actually really interesting, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about that. And so after doing some research, I realized that while medical school was still an option, I felt that nursing might be a better fit given my situation and my life circumstances, having been 6 years out of college already, or out of high school, and 2 years out of college. I felt that nursing might be a better path, and there was still a lot of opportunity. The level of care and the service component of it was still there 100%. So I decided that nursing was what I was going to pursue. So then I started looking into different programs, and I decided that the best option for me was to pursue an associate's program. That is, again, you get an associate's degree, not a bachelor's. So in the summer of 2022, once I had finally decided that nursing was what I wanted to pursue, I started taking my first prereq, and then I believe in September of 2022, I left my startup job and I started working at a hospital as a patient transporter, the entry-level job at a hospital where you just transfer patients from different places in the hospital, from their rooms to X-ray or CT or MRI or anything like that. And while I was taking my prereqs, I was working at the hospital. So after a few months of working as a patient transporter, I did a program at my hospital to become a nursing assistant. And after being a nursing assistant for about 6 to 8 months, I then transferred to the ER, where I'm currently working as an ER tech. And I just finished my prereqs in December of 2023, and I took my T's in January of 2024, and then I started applying for programs in February. And then just in April, I heard back from all of the programs that I had applied to, and I applied to 3 associates programs, and I got into all 3. And then now I'm just waiting to start my program in August of 2024. I know that it's, really daunting, and it can be really intimidating to, leave a career that you studied years for, to then, pretty much starting from the bottom again. But I now feel super fulfilled every single day. I go into work, excited to help people. So I hope you guys enjoyed my story. I hope you guys were able to learn something if, you're in a position where you're studying something that you're not interested in, or you're in a career that you're not happy with and you want to potentially think about working in healthcare. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and please like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.